Starring Kate Lassman, Kat Furniss, John N. Harper, Peter M. George, and Sam Chapman. On the Scene 2, written by Connor Chadwick.
Please be seated. The trial is on the murder of Chelsea Baxter. Jack Grant stands accused with a not guilty plea on the account of second-degree murder. Let us continue with the trial.
How can he keep doing that? I thought he confessed.
His lawyer is saying that he was in a state of panic and confusion at the time. His main argument is your assault.
Bullshit.
The defence will do anything possible to get a conviction, but we know Grant was selling drugs and that he was seeing Jess frequently. The timeline lines up.
I can only hope so.
So, how have you been?
As good as I can be. You?
Same. What a year, eh?
Yeah.
This will be over soon, Darren. I promise.
I know. I just don't like the idea that this trial could continue for months.
Weeks, hopefully. When are you due to give a statement?
Tomorrow. Like the bastard rots in hell.
I know.
Are you not worried that this will backfire?
What will?
D.I. Simmons may have taken full responsibility for the case, but you were working on it. Remember what you said about family matters?
Simmons is making his statement in a few days. The defence are trying to build this image of Grant as a man struggling.
Aren't we all?
Whilst the prosecution are trying to build an image of a man who cared little for other people.
So they're both right?
But we know what Jack did. The jury don't. Too heavy on one side, he'd been seen favourably. Too heavy on another, he could be sentenced to up to 30 years.
I hope it's the latter.
Jess,
Bonnie, what are you doing here?
we were shopping after work picking up some bits and pieces. So, did you meet at the cafe?
What do you mean?
Come off it, Jess. Quite a little cafe break after work, you didn't even tell me. Oh,
It's not what you think.
was that Darren Kelly leaving the cafe?
Yes, but it's nothing intimate.
Jess, you know you shouldn't be meeting, and certainly not like that.
I know, but we both need someone to talk to.
It could compromise the whole case. You're both key members of the investigation.
Bonnie, I know, alright?
You need to stop.
Or you report it?
Still salty about that, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
You are.
I'm sorry.
It was a long time ago. Do you fancy shopping with me?
Oh, go on then. Alright, I'm awake. Immediate call out.
Follow me.
Of course. Right, so what's happened to the victim?
Woman, aged 23 years old, bullet wound in the back of the head.
Bullet wound?
Yes, local sources say there aren't any immediate danger from gangs here.
So this woman was killed and dumped here?
No, the forensics say the woman was brought here and killed. The pool of blood is fresh.
The deceased was alive at the time of death. She was sat facing away from the shooter, and the bullet entered the back of her skull.
Immediate death?
Sadly not. It entered her brain and was lodged in the bottom left part of the brain, known as the cerebellum. She was alive for possibly a minute, and the bullet affected her brain functions.
That's awful. Keep me updated.
How should I proceed?
Keep this under wraps.
Very well.
Thank you. Any witnesses?
None.
Can you lift the sheet?
I wouldn't recommend...
Apologies, D.I. Palmer. Her body was here for too long. The rats have got into her.
I see.
Morning, Palmer.
Morning, Taylor.
Right, that's enough of that shit. Got a partial ID on the victim.
Yeah?
Lisa Harper, 23 years old, lived in Shadwell.
Sounds familiar.
Do we need to call it in? Get Simmons involved?
Yes, call it in. No Simmons, though. He's got enough on his plate with this court case.
But surely if this is connected to the Chelsea Baxter case, this could impact the entire proceedings.
It could, yeah. But we don't have any information yet. We can't have this leaking before we can verify the motive and cause.
Agreed. So, are we teaming up on this?
Wouldn't have it any other way, Bon. We are sorry for your loss, Mrs. Harper.
I just can't believe it. I told her to be home by 9 this morning.
Do you think you can answer a few questions?
Can it wait?
I'm sorry, but we need to know as much information as possible. We have a support team coming over now, and they can help you with anything you need.
Oh, all right.
Thank you. So, she went out for the night.
Every week. With her friends.
Do you know where she was going?
She was just out. Out with her friends.
What sort of night out was it?
I think she said it was pre-drinks. Pre-drinks, she said.
No worries. Was there anything out of the ordinary for her? Was she acting strange or on edge?
No. Nothing. She was just being herself.
And her father?
He lives in Shadwell. We don't see each other often.
He lives in Shadwell?
Yes. Why, is that important?
No, just making sure I've got all the information correct.
We need to check CCTV from that night to follow her movements.
I'll sort that. What are you thinking, Jess?
Her father lives in Shadwell. The body was found in Shadwell. We are also trying a case in court to do with a drug dealer and murder from Shadwell. It all seems too convenient.
So, you do think they're connected?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't jump to conclusions.
That's right. You can't let the emotions of what happened with Chelsea come back.
I'll skew my logic, I know.
Not just that, but you know how much Simmons covered for you. Don't let it go wasted.
Of course not. Could you also get the address of Lisa's father?
Don't you think he'll already have heard about the murder?
We'll just have to see when we're there.
Oh, hello. It's a bit early, isn't it?
Good morning, Mr. Harper. I am D.I. Palmer and this is D.S. Taylor. We're here to talk to you about a murder that happened in a neighbouring estate.
Oh, right. I heard the sirens. So why are you calling here?
I'm very sorry to tell you, but the body of your daughter, Lisa Harper, was discovered.
What? Oh. No.
Well,
Yeah,
are you alright, Mr. Harper?
Lisa. She usually comes over every week. She was supposed to last night.
Her mother had mentioned she'd gone on a night out.
Yeah, she does those once a week. It's an excuse, really. She goes out drinking at a club, then at around midnight she comes over to see me.
Lisa's mother mentioned you don't speak.
Not since the divorce.
Did that affect Lisa at all?
Of course it did. I lived with her and her mother until she was 17. I was charged for drug possession. That was the last straw for Liz.
I see.
Liz would prefer it if I never saw Lisa again. I can't say I don't understand her position, but that's all behind me now.
So you didn't see her last night?
No, we do the usual thing. Texting through the night to make sure she's safe. She stopped texting at around 9. I assume she was just having fun.
Did you not try and text or call her again?
I did. It just rang and rang. I just thought, she drank too much with her friends and lost track of time.
Why did you not notify anyone?
Well, she's an adult. I thought that she don't need me chasing her up all the time.
I've just got one more question, Mr. Harper.
What is it?
Do you own a gun?
Not anymore. It was confiscated by the police. Here, I hope you don't think I'm mixed up in this. She was my baby girl. I'd die myself before I let anyone lay a finger on her. And that's the truth. I'm sorry. I know you're just trying to do your job. Follow all lines of inquiry. That's what you lot say, innit? Anyway, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. I think that'll be all. Please let us know if you require any assistance. We have a support team available over the phone or in person whenever you'd like.
What are you thinking?
The father's reaction was too genuine.
Well, yeah, he fainted for starters.
He was very honest about his previous conviction.
I'll check in that the gun was confiscated.
Okay, good. Then see if the CCTV has brought back anything.
What are you going to do?
I'm running late for court. I'm going to see if I can make it.
The prosecution. Who do you call to the stand?
I would like to call my client, Jack Grant, to the stand.
Very well. Please step forward.
Yes, Your Honour.
Now, I don't think it's any mistake that you and Miss Baxter, of whom we will refer to as Chelsea, from now on were in a relationship?
No, we weren't.
I see. So you were mainly seeing her as a friend?
I was her dealer. I was selling cocaine to her. Over time, we'd seen each other so much that you could say she was a friend.
So what happened on the night she died?
Well, I was on a night out with some of the lads. She and I bumped into one another at the club. Her boyfriend got the wrong end of the stick and thought she was cheating and started a fight.
Yes, we have that on CCTV. But why did you and Chelsea leave together?
After what had happened, she wanted a hit. So I took her back to my place to have one.
Then what happened?
She overdosed. The drugs killed her.
Then why did you dump her body in the ditch?
Order. Order. Mr. Kelly, you are reminded that this is a court of law, and you will not interrupt court proceedings. Continue, Mr. Grant.
I freaked out. She was lying on the floor, her eyes were open, but there was nothing there. She was gone.
So you dumped her body?
I didn't want to dump her body there. I was panicking.
Where did you want to dump her?
Near the club, where we'd left. I just wasn't thinking straight.
You cared about her?
I didn't want this. I wish she hadn't died.
Why sell her the drugs, you fucking prick?
That was your last warning. Get him out.
All right. I'm out. Fuck's sakes. I'm an idiot.
What happened?
Got kicked out, didn't I?
What did you do?
Oh, sorry, Jess. I just let my anger get the better of me.
That's their defence. We've talked about your anger issues, Darren. You need to keep it under control.
He's lying. He's saying that I was the one to blame. He didn't mention anything to do with cheating.
The evidence will speak for itself.
Will it, though? The longer this trial goes on, the more I feel he'll be set free.
Look, you can't think like that. The trial is so close to ending. You're up next for questioning. You need to keep a level head.
As if they allow me back in.
They will, but it depends on if you're allowed to stay.
And you?
I think I'm too late to go in. Busy day at work.
Right. Are you going then?
I'll be back in after 2, when the break is finished. I'll make some calls in the meantime.
You alright?
Hi, I'm DS Taylor. May I ask you some questions about a girl who visited here last night?
Bloody hell, this is becoming a thing.
I'm sorry?
Chelsea Baxter was here on the night she died, and now you're looking for another one?
I just need to ask a few questions. Please?
You'd better come in then. Alright, so which girls died this time?
I think your tone isn't appropriate for this.
Look, my club took a massive hit when Chelsea Baxter's story came out. I don't need another girl affecting my business. So, what do you want?
Right, CCTV shows a young girl called Lisa Harper entering the club with friends and leaving with a man. I've got some printed photos here if you could take a look.
Friday nights are the busiest. I'm not always on the floor.
So is there a floor manager I can speak to?
Not right now. They've just finished a night shift.
And can you provide me with their address?
How's it gonna look when I start sending coppers around my staff's houses, eh?
We need to know what happened to Lisa. She's dead, sir.
And I'm sorry to hear that, but you'll have to wait until we're open again.
You don't remember the woman or the man at all?
No, I don't. People look up all the time at clubs.
Very well.
Here are your photos.
Thanks for your time.
Hey mate, I need the storage moved today. No questions. Things have gotten out of hand. I'll explain when you're here.
Hello, DS Taylor here. I'm going to need a warrant.
Bonnie, how's it going?
Following leads where I can. How's the trial?
I made it too late to get in. That doesn't mean that Darren Kelly didn't make a show of himself.
He doesn't know what damage he could do.
Yeah. Grant's defence is that Darren has anger issues and jumped to conclusions.
So not exactly good when he makes a scene then?
Precisely. So how's the case going?
CCTV picked Lisa up going into the club with friends and then leaving with a man.
Did you visit the club?
Yep, same club that Chelsea Baxter went to on the night that she died.
That can't be a coincidence, can it?
I don't think so. Well, the body showed no history of drug use. The fact that Lisa was discovered in Chadwell and then this club makes me uneasy.
Me too. I just hope this doesn't get leaked.
Likewise, but the club owner was acting odd too. I've called him for a warrant.
What do you mean?
It was really obstructive. He talked about how all of this was inconvenient and he really wanted me gone.
Any idea on this mysterious man?
I'm having somebody run it by the system now, but again, I thought I'd ask the owner. He barely looked at the photos.
Then maybe he is hiding something.
Yeah, just waiting for approval and we take it from there.
I hope I'm out of court when you do.
Fingers crossed, eh?
Fingers crossed. See you soon, Bon.
Speak to you later.
There you go. Best coffee in the building, apparently.
Oh, thank you, Darren. That's really sweet.
No worries. They told me I'd get called for in a few minutes.
Alright. I hope it goes well.
What sort of things are they going to ask me?
Nothing you don't already know the answer to. You need to play it as if you're the victim too. Jack is trying to place assault charges on you for your beating.
Yeah. I need to justify it?
No. You need to explain where it came from. Hopefully the judge will rule it as a crime of passion instead.
And that means...
You may have a lighter penalty, but we'll see.
But what D.I. Simmons told me?
Yeah, anything I did, say it was him. It'll help the case.
Alright, I'll try. How's your family been?
Auntie M comes to the trial. Because of how sensitive this trial is, the audience and the jury have been selected to be as distant as possible from this.
Right. Jess, I'm not a bad person.
I know you're not.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm being called early.
Good luck, Darren. See you soon.
Mr. Kelly, are you prone to outbursts of anger?
I'm working on it. I'm seeing a therapist to help me.
Today's display of anger did not help the situation.
I know. I'm sorry.
What made you so angry?
I'm tired of hearing about this. It hurts.
I understand.
Do you?
Now, Mr. Kelly, you are also facing charges relating to this case, correct?
Yes.
Could you please tell the court what those cases are?
Assault.
You attacked Mr. Grant, didn't you?
Yeah.
Why?
Miss Baxter was cheating on me with him. We had gotten into a fight at the nightclub the day before. When I found out she was dead, I knew it was him.
How could you be so sure?
After we fought in the club, we had a fight, and she left with him.
Please be clear, Mr. Kelly. Names, please.
Miss Baxter left with Mr. Grant.
That must have annoyed you.
Yeah, it did.
So much that you wanted to do something about it.
Yeah, that's why I found him the next day.
And Miss Baxter?
She didn't want to see me, and I didn't want to see her.
What did you do after the fight?
I went home.
Just home?
Yeah.
Mr. Grant says that the fight in the club was over a misunderstanding. He claims you thought he was dating Miss Baxter.
He was.
Can you prove this?
Watch the CCTV again. Chelsea tried to cover it up, but we both saw through it. We were just her bits on the side, nothing more than that.
We have scanned through the CCTV many times, Mr. Kelly. We don't see any evidence that corresponds to your story.
What I'm saying is the truth.
Moving on, you were arrested the following morning for questioning. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who questioned you?
D.I. Simmons.
Interesting. The recording we have in evidence says another story. May we play this, Your Honour?
You may.
This is Acting DI Palmer speaking and conducting this interview. Please state your name.
Darren Kelly.
Thank you. When did you last see Chelsea Baxter?
Has something happened to her?
Please just answer the question.
I haven't seen her in a while. We broke up.
She never mentioned that.
Well, she wouldn't.
We have a witness who put you in the club last night.
Yeah, I went clubbing. So?
Chelsea was there too.
Why won't you tell me what's happened? Did she call the police on me or something?
Would she need to?
What is this? I wouldn't lay a finger on her.
Her body was found this morning.
What?
She was found on a dual carriageway near Grays, Essex.
I don't live anywhere near there.
It doesn't matter. We need to clear all variables.
You think I did it, didn't you?
The evidence speaks for itself.
There's no evidence, Jess. I didn't kill her. I loved her.
Palmer, a word.
I'm just conducting...
Now!
I'll be back in a minute.
Now, that sounds like D.I. Jess Palmer, correct? Nothing you'd like to say?
She introduced the recording.
We do note that approximately 5 minutes into the interview, D.I. Simmons steps in and interrupts the interview before taking over. Do you know why that is?
No.
Funny. Isn't Jess Palmer also the cousin of Chelsea Baxter, who is the deceased in this case? And don't work regulations at the London Metropolitan Police specifically state that no family or relative should involve themselves in a case that relates to the said family relation?
I don't know.
It does. The regulations are clear.
I didn't see her again after that questioning. I said that I didn't...
heard you, Mr. Kelly. I am merely leading to my next point. Drugs. D.I. Simmons found drugs in your coat pocket at the time of arrest.
It wasn't mine.
So you said. But you knew where to find Mr. Grant to attack him.
I knew he was from Shadwell.
Then, to find Mr. Grant walking through the car park. That was a coincidence. Your Honour, I would like to call upon one person to take the stand.
Who?
D.I. Jess Palmer.
D.I. Jess Palmer is not on your witness list.
I think after today's revelations, we will need to make an amendment.
You obtained the warrant?
Yep, we're outside now about to storm the place. Can you make it here in time?
I could. I don't want to miss a moment of this trial.
But Jess, we need you.
Alright, I'm coming. See you in a bit.
D.I. Palmer,
Yes?
you've been called to the witness stand.
Of what?
It's been 20 minutes. Alright, lads, we'll have to go in now. Move!
Thank you for being available so quickly, Miss Palmer.
I'm here to support my family.
Of course. Now, the reason you have been called upon is because we wanted to discuss your involvement in this case.
I was barely involved.
You were working closely with D.I. Simmons on this case.
I was.
And, as I shall state again for this court, regulations at the London Metropolitan Police specifically state that no family member or relative should involve themselves in a case that relates to said family relation.
Yes, I know.
We have recordings of you conducting interviews without D.I. Simmons. That would put you in breach of regulations. Also, we have reason to suspect that you were divulging information on the case as it was being investigated to others.
Excuse me?
Mr. Darren Kelly was able to find Mr. Jack Grant at his home in Shadwell. Who could have leaked that information but someone who had an emotional link to the victim? You will need to answer me at some point, Miss Palmer.
What the fuck?
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Get the hell out of my club.
Deploying smoke.
Piss off.
Mobilise. Rubber bullet successful. Cuff him.
Good work, lads. Search the area. Look, the storage room's empty. Bloody hell.
Police records show that you were called to a crime scene, and then shortly after arriving, you disappeared.
I want to see my aunt.
To tell her as a family member, or as a detective inspector?
Both. Myself and now D.S. Bonnie Taylor spoke to her.
I understand that D.S. Taylor and you are friends outside of work.
Yes, she's a family friend.
There's a lot of family involvement in this case, Miss Palmer. These are all breaches of regulations.
I understand D.I. Simmons stepped in and put me on leave.
He did. Then he brought you back onto the case with him, correct? If you wish to remain silent during the difficult questions, I will answer them for you. You were brought back onto the case by D.I. Simmons, where you visited Jack Grant at his home, where that then led to his assault at the hands of Darren Kelly, the boyfriend of your cousin. This doesn't look good, does it?
No, it doesn't. However, this story is taken out of context.
You should not have been on this case, Miss Palmer. I argue that this case and the trial are unjustified because of the multiple breaches of regulations from the London Metropolitan Police.
What?
Your Honour, I wish to move for a mistrial.
You can't do that.
Miss Palmer, please. Court is adjourned. We will perform internal discussions between the prosecution and the defence.
But I...
Thank you for your time today, Miss Palmer.
Bon?
Where have you been? We've just been shot at.
I'm so sorry, Bonnie. It's all gotten out of hand.
What's happened?
The defence has moved for a mistrial.
What?
I was brought on as a witness. They did their research, Bon. They know everything.
Jesus Christ, what are you going to do?
If they succeed in getting a mistrial, then that'll absolve Jack Grant of the murder and the drug charges.
And don't tell me, not Darren of the assault.
Exactly.
Shit.
They're deliberating now.
Look, we can't do anything about that now. Let's just see what we can do about this case, yeah?
Okay, alright. What's all this?
Cocaine.
Keith, the club owner, was the supplier.
Names on the books are all there, but he's supplying the Shadwell area mostly, and then some areas in Croydon and Lewisham.
So this is a big bust.
Got names here. And do you see whose names we have on this list?
Jack Grant.
And a Liam Owens who purchased 3 grams of cocaine and a pistol.
Who's Liam Owens?
Jack's best friend. He's also been identified as the man who took Lisa Harper out of the club. That's my next stop.
Then we best catalogue all of these drugs and get moving.
What do you lovely ladies want?
D.I. Palmer, London Met. And this is D.S. Taylor.
Shit.
Do you own a gun, Mr. Owens?
No.
May we check?
You need a warrant for that.
Not if we have probable cause.
Oh, yeah? What's that then?
We have you leaving a nightclub with Lisa Harper the other night. She was found dead less than a mile from here.
Yeah, I remember. I left with her. I thought we were going to, you know, seal the deal and all that. But then I found out she was just here to see her dad, so I left.
Charming. Now, according to the records of Keith Harmon, you purchased some cocaine and a pistol. We just need to make some inspections.
Feel free.
What are you doing?
D.I. Palmer, yeah? The one who got Jack locked up?
Put the gun down.
You know, I don't think I will, love.
Why did you kill her, Liam?
I didn't kill anyone.
I can see a splash of blood on it.
Talk to Max about it. Her dad. Once I knew she was his daughter, I did what I had to do.
Something to do with the drug running going on in Shadwell?
Wow, you've really done a number on Keith. Least I can do is return the favour.
Stop!
What?
You are under arrest on suspicion of first-degree murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Get off me!
No chance. Taylor, kick the gun away. We need to let forensics in this place.
A decision is about to be made on the mistrial.
For your own sake, don't be there when they do, alright?
Why?
This is the last phone call or contact we can have for a while. They know.
Fuck.
Quite. Now go home and lie low. No matter the verdict, there will be some repercussions for me.
I'm sorry, Jess.
What happens next is on me, not you. Goodbye, Darren.
Any news?
Not yet. How about you and Mr. Owens?
Got a written and signed confession from him. It will take a few years off his sentence at least.
What happened to her? And why Lisa?
Max Harper left the drug cartels in Shadwell. They needed a way to get back at him for that. It was just a coincidence.
So he took her into an alleyway and shot her.
Wasn't so quick. It was brutal, Jess. Best you not have to know the details.
Right.
Where you headed now?
Crown Court.
Are you sure about that?
I need to be there.
Right, sure. See you tonight for a proper drink?
Yeah, of course.
Order! Order! After a lengthy discussion with the prosecution, defence and the jury, we have come down to a unanimous decision regarding the future of this trial. The case will be regarded as a mistrial.
What?
And the methods and the decisions made by those under the employment of the London Metropolitan Police will be placed under a review by the Board of Police Commissioners.
What? No.
And as a result of this mistrial, Jack Grant is a free man.
Mr. Grant, care to comment on the trial?
I'm very disappointed by what I've had to go through. I know the truth, as does my legal team. I intend on moving out of London and starting somewhere else. I just want to be left alone.
And what do you think of Jess Palmer and the London Met?
I think there's corruption within the Met, and it needs to be dealt with. For now, I'll continue to pursue the assault charges against Mr. Kelly, and then move on with my life. Thank you.
Miss Palmer, what do you have to say now that your secrets and deception have affected a court
Nothing
case?
I did was outside of regulations. The call for a mistrial is a miscarriage of justice.
Do you feel it is a personal duty to make sure your cousin has the justice she deserves?
I've seen today that the courts do not care about justice. I take every case personally. Thank you.
Wait, there are reports of another murder that you were assigned to recently. Was that related to this case?
Yes.
How exactly?
We have reason to believe that there is a drug cartel operating outside Shadwell.
What evidence do you have on this?
It will be released in due course. We have obtained a written and signed confession from the perpetrator and will be seeking a lengthy sentence. Thank you, that's all I have to say.
Jess, come over.
Everyone's looking at me weirdly.
You've dug your own grave.
What do you mean?
The superintendent's here.
What?
He's in your office, waiting.
Shit, alright.
Hello, Jess. Please take a seat.
Yes, sir.
I'm here about that little interview you've given to the press.
Yes? What about it?
Don't play the fool, Palmer. You know that none of that information was really for the general public.
I think it's worth getting the word out there.
Are you arguing with me?
I'm arguing my side.
You don't have a side. You work and operate under the guidance of the law and our regulations, those of which are now under strict review thanks to you and Simmons.
What will happen to Simmons?
He's already been relieved of duty. He is a seasoned officer. He should have known better.
And me?
You are young, Palmer. You are acting with emotion, which can be forgiven. It was wrong of Simmons to allow you to continue the way that you did.
With all due respect, Superintendent, I agreed to return to the case after 3 days of leave.
I know.
So why am I being let off?
Who said anything about letting you off the hook, Palmer?
You
are to be placed on indefinite unpaid leave. You will return when we are ready to have you back. A review will be undertaken of your performance and we shall take it from there.
Unpaid? I'll lose everything, sir.
Not my problem, Palmer. Feel free to find work elsewhere in the meantime. Clear out your desk. Your partner will need it for tomorrow morning.
Oh my god.
Keep it simple, lads. In and out.
Hello? What's going on?
Darren Kelly, you are under arrest on suspicion of assault. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you later rely on in court.
Please!
Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
After a mistrial was called for the murder of Chelsea Baxter, the conduct of the Metropolitan Police has been called in question. With no possibility of bringing Jack Grant to trial under the same charges, many on social media have been quick to criticise the police and their detective inspector assigned to the case.
Who could it be at this hour?
Hello, Miss Palmer.
No!
Don't think you can slam the door on me now. I'm a free man. I just thought I'd let you know that Darren Kelly has been arrested tonight for assaulting me. Nothing to say.
Didn't expect anything less after the verdict.
I'm glad to know you're disappointed.
So what are you going to do to me?
Is that what you think this is? No, it's not. You're getting what you deserve. Getting rid of you would not only draw suspicion, but it'd also draw attention to me. You've drawn attention to Shadwell, Miss Palmer. Unwanted attention. You may need to watch your back for a while.
You too.
You're funny. I'll be seeing you soon, Jess.
Oh shit. Christ.
On the Scene 2, written by Connor Chadwick. Starring Kate Lassman, Kat Furniss, John N. Harper, Peter M. George, and Sam Chapman. Also starring Oliver Alexander, Rosalind Whelan, Michael Cox, Dominic G. Martin, Connor Chadwick, and John Clark. Directed by Connor Chadwick. Produced by Connor Chadwick. And edited by Connor Chadwick.